Welcome back again. In this video series, we are learning VMware. So in my previous video, I have already installed VMware ESXi server. Now, I'm going to configure that ESXi server based on your own environment. You can configure. So let's go to the console of the ESXi server, which is this one. We have seen it and we have accessed it. Now on the console, if you see the bottom left here, F2, customize the system. So I'm going to click inside the console and I'm going to click F2 and give the same root username and password which you entered during your installation. This will open my customization console. Here, first thing, it is always advisable to have a static network IP address for your ESXi server. So you see here, it has got a DHCP. It has got the IP from the DHCP server, which is running in my router, which I don't want. It's not advisable to have a DHCP based IP address for your ESXi server. So I'm going to change that. So configure my management network. So I'm going to change that to static. Enter and go to the IP configuration using your arrow and up and down arrows. You can move IPv4 configuration and enter. Here go down, and if you enter the space bar, if you press the space bar, this will move. You can, using the space bar, you can select which one you want. So I'm going to select the set static IPv4 address, and that is using the space bar. After that, I'll go to IPv4 address. Based on your own environment, own router IP address, you can set up your IP address. And based on that, I have reserved actually some of the lower IP addresses. That is, so here, okay, I'm going to set the static, and here 192.168.1. I'm going to create as 4. I have already assigned 213 to some other servers on my environment, so I'm going to select give the IP address, a static IP address, as 1.4, and all others subnet mask default gateway 1.1, which I believe in your home also it will be some similar to either 0.1 or 1.1. It will be in your environment. Keep as it is, and that's all. Keep enter, and you see here in the right side, IPv4 address changed to 1.4. That's all you need to know. And if you want to change your DNS configuration, that also you can do. You can give a different host name instead of just localhost. So I'm going to change that to some specific name. Again, select, use the following DNS server addresses and the host name. Keep your DNS server as already there, and just I'll change my host name to ESXi. I have already one ESXi in my local LAN, so I'll give it as ESXi2. You can give your own ESXi1 or something, right? And that's my host name, ESXi2, or you can give VMware ESXi2 or whatever you want, and enter. That's all. See, now you see right side, primary DNS server 1.1, host name is ESXi-2. That's, and just press escape. If you press escape, it will take effect. So here I'm going to press escape, and here it is asking me apply changes and restart management network. Enter Y. for yes, and yes, because I want it should be restarted. So it's restarted the management network, and now it has taken effect 192.168.1.4. All right. So, and if you want to change your password, you can change it here. I don't want to change it. And if you want to test the network management network, you can do it here. But okay, I'm again press escape, so it will come back to your console, and you see here you can manage now using a static IP address 192.168.1.4. Let's take it. Open the browser and I'll go 192.168.1.4, and yes, it is accessible. And so root and my password. Yes, so here there is no virtual machines and networking. There are VM network and management network 1.4, right? So here there is no virtual machine. So, and in the networking there is VM network, there is 0, no, nothing is there. Okay, only management network is active. Let's go to storage, right? So storage, we see only one disk, right? So devices, if you see here, there are 3 devices. So one is the CD-ROM one, and another is 2 hard disks. One is 512 gig, another is 30 gig. So in the data store, if you see, it is not showing anything. The 512 gig is not showing. So we have to create a new data store. So click to add the disk, we need to create a new data store and create a VMFS data store and click next. Give a name. I will call it data store 2. Previous one, if you see that it is data store 1, and in the here, and here it is data store 2, and I'll select this one. Following devices are unclaimed, right? So I'll select it. It is already selected though. Go to next. Selection before selected partition free space, and this will be completely formatted with VMFS6, right? So that is VMware file system 6. So completely it will be taken. I'm okay with that. Full disk, next, and finish. About to be erased. Okay. So you see, this is actually in your this disk is nothing but a file in your laptop. I can show you that here. Here in my VirtualBox VMs, here if you see VMware ESXi server, it's a folder created already, and you see there are two files, .bdi and .bdi. This is the 30 gig one, and this is the 512 gig one. So these are the 2 disks. So never delete these 2 files, because these are the operating system, that is the ESXi operating system, and this is the storage which we just added. So never delete those files. And go to ES. So when erased, it does not erase actually your disk. Actually, it format this particular file. It's a VDI format. So it formats this file into a VMFS file system. We got it. We see here data store 1 and 2. One is this capacity is 22. It is showing 22 because it has taken some other OS and other stuffs into this. So it is 512. This much is it's completely available though. That's all for creating a. If you want to see, you want to play around, you can do evaluation mode here. Licensing we have, but this is going to run first. Well, ESXi server is completely free, by the way. If you want to you don't want vCenter server, you can run this for your lifetime. It does not restrict you to 60 days. You can run it for your as long as you want, as long as you are not using vCenter server. But if you want to manage this ESXi using a vCenter server, then you need a license. But you can do that also without licensing. You can run for 60 days with vCenter server. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to install vCenter server on this ESXi server. So that's all in this video. Configuration of the network and storage and for ESXi server. In my next video, I'm going to install the vCenter server on this host. Now we'll call this is as a host. This is the ESXi host where we'll be creating multiple VMs on this VMware environment. See you in my next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching.